Hey there, Cancer. This is your Ascendant forecast taking you from Monday, the 15th of December, right the way through to Sunday, the 21st of December 2025. Now we're getting closer to Christmas, and I think things are hotting up in this week ahead. We've got Mars going into Capricorn. We've got the Sun going into Capricorn, starting off the next season. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, that means we're heading into the winter time. And if you're in the southern part of the hemisphere, or southern part of the world, the start of summer is officially starting. So that's the December solstice on the 21st. Before that, just the day before that, we've got the new moon in the sign of Sagittarius in a conjunction with the Galactic Centre. And that's aligned completely to the center of our galaxy. And of course, that also has some significance. As we go through this week, we end on not just the solstice, but also on 3 exact squares taking place on the same day. So it is absolutely a week to remember. And what I want to do is pace you through it step by step. So you've got an idea on how to use this cosmic weather to your advantage. Now, if you're new to this channel, my name's Louisa. Welcome to Feel Good Astrology. And as I get going, I'm just going to bring my slides up onto the screen. And I always start just by saying a big thank you to everybody that supports this channel in all the different ways that you do. Thank you so much. So I've got 2 charts here. This is the first one, and you'll see as we start this, the moon is just in the sign of Libra. And as we head through the week, you'll find that the moon ends this week in the sign of Capricorn. You'll also see that the Sun and Mars start off in Sagittarius and end in the sign of Capricorn. So there you go, there you go. You'll see that the energy is really moving from the 6th house and Sagittarius into the 7th house and Capricorn. Now, when you look at this chart, by the way, you see the sign for Cancer and also the sign for Leo in this first section. This is called the first house. Then that's a message really to you to listen also to the Leo forecast, because there's also some Leo resonance going on. So this chart is using a whole sign Western tropical model. And what that means is there is 1 sign per house. And these houses, they're named from 9 o'clock. So if you're looking at it as a clock face, there's 9 o'clock. This is your first, your second, your third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, right the way through to the 12th house. So anyway, you'll see here I've got a list of all the different things I think are most important that are going on this week, and also the position of where the moon is, all the different symbols. If you want to learn more about astrology, like learn from scratch, then in January, from the first week in January, I'm going to be holding 1 class a week, 2 classes a week, where we learn about a simple concept, and then in the second class a couple of days later or a day later we practice together. So if that's something that's of interest, then just get in touch and join the program. But anyway, okay, so I'm going in. So the start of this forecast then, on Monday the 15th, the moon goes into the sign of Scorpio, and Mars comes into the sign of Capricorn. Now, Mars is very happy in the sign of Capricorn because he can get moving. Like, he really wants to take action. He wants to be practical. To me, this feels like there's things to get moving. Mars has been in the sign of Sagittarius for quite a while. And in the sign of Sagittarius, he gets questy, like things that upset him, things that feel like they're wrong, not quite moral, not quite right. Mars gets to be in his bonnet and wants to take action. But it's when Mars goes into the sign of Capricorn, that's when he takes action. Now, the last time he went into Capricorn was 23 months ago. So I don't know what you were doing like almost 2 years ago, but it might give you a clue as to what's coming up. Now, when he goes into the 7th house, he's activating your relationships in a more physical way. So you might find that you're doing a lot more with your partner. If you've got a partner, you might want to go jogging with them, or exercising, or making love, because that's absolutely a physical thing you can do with your partner. But it can also bring in a little bit of a quarrelsome atmosphere. And it's not because either of you are bad people necessarily, but it's because the strong yangy vital energy of Mars is coming into that place of relationship. So my recommendation, with your partners is to God, I was going to say shag it off or sleep it off. Make love, like use that energy in a way that feels great. Use that energy to make yourself work, like make it work beautifully. I think it gets argumentative when we're not attending to the physical aspects of things, and Mars is super physical. And if you've got no one to make love to, or you don't fancy it, then it's good to work your body so that other people coming into your life at this time aren't going to pick up on this excess of Mars energy. You're going to be using it in a helpful way. So that's my first top tip. And of course, as the moon's going into the sign of Scorpio, interestingly, this is also quite a relationship house. The 5th house is a place where we experience a bit more passion, where we are very keen to connect in intimacy. So I do think, Monday through Wednesday could be quite exciting. It could be a great time to connect with your partner in that way. Now, on Wednesday, the 17th, the sun is going into a square with Saturn. It's exact. Now, I just want to say for the record that each of these aspects I'm pointing out, they have been coming in, like they've been getting closer and closer. And this is the exact point in their cycle together. And then from this exact point, they'll start to fade off. One will move away from the other. Now, most of these have been building for a good 3, 4, 5 days. And so this is the fulcrum point. This is like the bit where it gets really intense, very, very potent. So the sun in a square to Saturn is interesting because, our personal authority is being challenged by an outside source of authority. And you might find that you're also questioning yourself a lot. Now, Saturn can be quite a hard taskmaster in various places, and in squares, he's challenging us, slowing us down, making us doubt ourselves, or we're doubting ourselves. He's not making us, but he's standing in there to give you that experience, I think, of needing to stand stronger. I think of him, I like plants, you might know if you've watched this channel for a long time. And, one of the great things with planting, like young plants, if you leave them in a pot for a while, the roots will come around the side of the pot. The pot is actually helping that plant. It gives the plants something to push against. And so you get these fantastic roots. And yeah, it can get a bit root bound, but as you pull it out, you'll see these great big roots. It's almost like that challenge is strengthening, it's holding that plant up. It's giving something to anchor onto. And so Saturn here, I think, is giving you a bit of pressure that's pressuring your personalities, pressuring your ideas about yourself, the stories you've got about yourself. And it's bringing out the best in you, but it might not feel like it. Now, with so much energy in your 6th house, most likely, especially in this week before Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, which I'm guessing a large portion of the people that watch this channel probably do, I would imagine that you've got tons of things to do, lots of things to get ready, lots of things to consider. And the 6th house is a place where we are busy, trying to manage our money, our energy, our house, and everything really. And it's also a place where our health can really, like, we can overexpend our energy. We can burn the candle at both ends. We can feel really quite wiped out. And so with Saturn in a square to the sun, and then later on, the sun's going to be in an exact square with Neptune. Now, this is the one I would watch out for, because the sun and Neptune in a square can really wear out your energy, especially in the 6th house. So I do think it's important that you pay attention to your health coming into this week. Really start to nourish yourself. If there's like my husband, for instance, he finds he gets really like if he has something with seafood in, he feels instantly stronger, like color comes back in his cheeks. If there's something like that, start treating yourself, start getting that thing that your body is craving, and get some rest. Look after yourself, take some, sort of precaution for that. And of course, like I mentioned, you might be shagging yourself silly. You might be having a great time. And good if you are. You might find that sort of using your body and also nourishing yourself is actually going to help you. So, where were we? Oh, yeah. And then on Wednesday, the moon goes into the sign of Sagittarius. And so the moon is coming in, and the moon here could actually panic you a little bit that you haven't got enough time. So eliminate any time dramas you can on Monday. You know, don't come into this week saying I'm going to do this by this time and blah, blah, blah. Do whatever you can to manage all of your time dramas, because this is such an intense week. You don't want to have to contend with that as well. And in fact, you know, on the day of the new moon in Sagittarius, it's a really good idea to have lots of clear space around you, and like not just clear space. I'm looking at my desk, it's full of stuff. It's not clear at all. I've got crystals, I've got supplements, pens, lip glosses, everything. It's quite embarrassing. I'm talking about a clear space whilst I'm sat in everything. But you know, get a clear space so that you can feel and in clear space, I'm talking in terms of time, like clear your time commitments as much as you can, because this new moon in Sagittarius could turbocharge your life in such an interesting way, and connect you into the heart of the matter. Like, what are you really looking for in your life? And of course, if you've got loads of distractions around you, you're not going to pay much attention to it. So I really feel that that's something to work on. Now, on the 18th, which is Thursday, there's this exact trine between Venus and Chiron, which is lovely. So whatever you're discovering about yourself, and this could have to do with your health, it could have to do with the sort of energy that you're generating between you and your partner right now. But Venus in a trine to Chiron, especially with Chiron at the top of the chart, in almost a parental and authoritative role over you, you might find that you're able to forgive yourself for anywhere where you feel like you've not done enough, you've not pleased your manager enough, anywhere where you've not risen high enough. It's time to forgive yourself and to give yourself some self-soothing, you know, whether you're like rubbing yourself. Oh my God, it's sounding filthy again, but like go into a place of repair. This is a real heart opener. This is here to help you feel fresh and new. And it's a really, really nice energy. And so whatever you've been battling with yourself, I think this is a great day, and a great day to lead you into the new moon, which, like I said, it's time to clear yourself so you don't have a time drama. You can enjoy this new moon. Now, immediately after, and we're getting to the weekend now, this is Saturday through to Sunday. Now, this is almost like a portal. It's so important, in fact, that I've recorded a separate video with Tressa Grealish from Goddess Inspire. I don't know if you've seen her channel yet, but she is a galactic astrologer. And so she's looking out beyond the solar system, way, way beyond that. And so she came along, we had a nice conversation. And, you know, I'm going to be posting something later on this week. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe now if you don't want to miss it. But, you know, she is talking about the new moon through all the different ascendant signs in that conjunction with the Galactic Centre. You know, the Galactic Centre is you know, it's opening our life it's activated with this new moon. And so whatever it is pointing out in our life, you know, it's gonna come forwards. And so I think there could be something really foundational that's about to change in the way you're doing your life. So it's important. Now, this is on Saturday. It's interesting because whatever you're learning about yourself, on the 20th, the moon is heading into Capricorn. And so the moon is, your emotions are going to get serious about it. You're going to start moving forwards. And then later on Sunday, the last aspect I'm talking about is the sun going into Capricorn. That's you moving forwards with yourself. Like you are ready. Feels like all the pennies have dropped into place. You know exactly what you're going to do, and you start to make that change. And so the 20th to 21st is really important. In fact, Tressa was also talking about 3i Atlas as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, have a listen to that when it comes out later this week. Now, we've also got Mercury in a square to the North Node. He's actually in a square to the North. I haven't actually put in for some reason. It should be here. But anyway, imagine it is. So Mercury is going to be in... oh, there you can see it. Mercury's in a square to the South Node and also the North Node. Then we've got the Sun exactly square Neptune. We've also got Venus exactly square Saturn. And finally, we've also got Jupiter exactly square Chiron. So it's very, very intense this last day. This is Sunday. But just on Saturday, Mercury in this square, this T square to the south node and the north node. The south node and Mercury is really showing where you've already learned how to communicate and create intimacy with people in your neighborhood. It's like your neighbors don't need to know who you are any more than they already do. It feels like everyone's got a measure of you and how you are, everyone knows how you work. To me, there's a really sort of easily built familiarity that you've created. But Mercury right now is wanting you to talk with people that you don't know. And that's the challenge, is like, how do you get to know people that you don't know, that you don't have a shared culture with, or maybe not a shared religion with, or maybe you're working or studying with people that, in a subject you don't know. And so you're being challenged a little bit to share what is true for you and what you would like to truthfully learn, and share it with people that you have no frame of reference with. This looks like something that you're going to be challenged to experience and explore. And if that resonates, you might want to put it into some kind of new moon in Sagittarius intention. If you use intentions, this could be a good one. Is like, how can I find a great relationship with people I don't know? I mean, remember, with Ascendant in the sign of Cancer, it does tend to put people onto more of a shy timeline. You're a bit shyer than most, and you don't open up quite as easily as other people. I mean, once you do, you go deep, but this is really opening you up to more people. So I think that's also a possibility. Now, with the sun in a square to Neptune, as I mentioned a bit earlier, you might be wanting to manage your energy levels a lot more. It feels like with Saturn, the north node, and also Neptune in the ninth house, there's so much that you're learning, and it feels like it's taking you out of your knowing about yourself. So, yes, you want to manage your life, and yes, you want to stay healthy, and yes, you're busy. And yet you've probably been learning about spirituality, politics, religion, a new language or a new culture, or I don't know, you're learning so much right now, and it's a challenge to integrate it all. Like, how do you make sense of everything? You've changed and grown so much, in the last 2.5 years, especially with Saturn through here, but also since 2011 or 2014? I can't remember. I think it's 2011. Since 2011, when Neptune came in here, that's also sort of really expanded your knowledge and and your expertise. And so, yeah, anywhere where you're wanting to bring more of the unreal into your real life, I think that's creating a bit of a challenge for you. Now, finally, sorry, it's two more, not finally. Venus in a square to Saturn at the same time. It's a time when we might feel a bit lonely. We might feel a bit distant, where we feel like we might have to do everything on our own and everything's on our shoulders. And so we can feel a little bit down on ourselves at the same time. So there is this kind of like, who am I? What am I? How am I meant to relate to people? And at the same time, you've got Jupiter and Chiron working in a tough square. Now, this square has been here for a while. I've spoken about it in previous forecasts. With Jupiter in the first house, you've been expanding, very much like I've said with Saturn and Neptune. You've expanded your view on life and what it's about. And of course, that creates very instant changes. And with Chiron up here, it feels like you've expanded, but the people around you, like your bosses or your parents or your ancestry or everyone that you've ever known in your life, it just feels like you're expanding and they're not, and you're feeling a little bit odd with that. So it's interesting, that this new moon in Sagittarius couldn't come at a better time. It's connecting you to more of a galactic mission or an earth vision or a mythic rebirth. It really feels like there's something much deeper coming in for you, a deeper knowing. And then as you go into your new season, wherever you are in the world, and the sun comes into the 7th house, it feels like, okay, I recognize I need different people in my life, or I need people that are matching my new set point. So it feels to me like there's a conscious acceptance that there are different people coming in, and they're there because your vibration has shifted. So yeah, in many ways, this whole week ahead is to show you where your vibration has shifted, And yeah, if I was in your shoes, I think I might use this new moon in Sagittarius conjunct the Galactic Centre to, I don't know, make a commitment to yourself or myself, and to say, yeah, I recognize I'm changing so much now. I'm ready to let go of the guardrails that I might have had over who comes into my life and who doesn't. It's time to broaden them. It's time to release them a little bit. So I hope that's helpful for you in understanding this week ahead. It's a big one. Now, if you like my forecasts and you want more of them, I've made my community a free space that everyone can enter now. And my community is held at school. It's skool.com. You can what's it called? You can scan that little QR code above me. It will take you straight to school. You can do it from your phone right now, or you can follow the links in the description box. Or you could even go to my channel page and find the link there. But if you join me on school, there's weekly relationship and connection forecasts. There's a money, ambition, and career forecast. And there's also daily Monday to Friday forecasts as well. It's also the place where I teach astrology. So if any of that sounds like it's for you, then come and join me. You know, just it's free to join. You're all welcome. So hopefully I'll see you there. But anyway, have a fabulous week ahead and catch up with you all soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.